ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Namaste, all of you. Welcome back to our continuing study of Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha from the pages of Poojya Swamiji's, Poojya Swami Dayananda Saraswati's Geetha home study course. In these sessions, we are studying chapter 2 of Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha, Sankhya Yoga, the topic of knowledge. The topic of knowledge. Lord Krishna, in the 29th shloka of this chapter, very important shloka, talks about the rareness of three entities. One is a committed student who, after examining his or her life thoroughly, pariksha, parikshya lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayat, says the Mundaka Upanishad. After having sufficiently examined one's life, such a student chooses the path to moksha. This is one aspect that Krishna talks about in that shloka. And this student knows that moksha, or should know, Krishna is saying that the student should know that knowledge, Vedantic knowledge alone will result in moksha, in discovering one's higher self. And this student should know that this knowledge is available only in our scriptures, which deal with the dissemination of this divine knowledge very systematically. And the student must know or knows that such knowledge he knows over a period of time, after being told several times over and recognizing the fact that self knowledge cannot be gained by self study. I'll get knowledge by myself. No, that's not what it is. The student understands that one has to approach a Shrotriya Brahmanistha Acharya and learn the scriptures systematically for a length of time. So, Krishna talks about a committed student who is a wonder. It is a wonder that he understands this teaching. And first of all, among Manushyanam Sahasreshu, such a student himself or herself is rare. And then not only is he or she rare, he or she somehow understands this Raja Vidya. The student is rare, the that is one entity. A student who understands is even rarer. And rarest of them all is the third entity, the teacher, who manages to teach the unteachable within quotes. So, a student who is committed, a student who understands, and a teacher who teaches this knowledge, this liberating knowledge. In the beginning of chapter 2, Krishna clearly taught from shlokas 11 until 30 this liberating knowledge about the Atma. But then, to gain this knowledge, one requires to go through the preparatory steps. And what are the preparatory steps? Step number one is Karma Yoga. Step number two is Upasana Yoga. Step number three is Shravana Yoga. Step number 4 is Manana Yoga. And step number 5 is Nididhyasana Yoga. All this student understands as he progresses on the spiritual path. This rare student. Then he also understands, after being taught for a length of time, that the whole effort has to take place in an environment of bhakti, of Shraddha and Bhakti. Not only Shraddha and Bhakti, but the machinery, the spiritual, the vehicle that's going to take us along the spiritual path has to be well oiled. And this lubrication is provided by the Sadgunas. Sadgunas. Bhakti on one side and Sadgunas on the other side. They both help to keep the machinery well oiled and running smoothly. Krishna, in the portions that we are currently studying, especially the 48th shloka, Krishna is talking extensively about karma yoga. He defines karma yoga. In this shloka 48, in the last quarter of the shloka, he says, Samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam, sameness, equanimous, equanimity is one definition of karma yoga. The other definition of karma yoga that Krishna will give out will come up in shloka 50, two shlokas later. Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Kaushalam meaning dakshata, expertise, kushalata, discretionary action, etc. As we progress through understanding this shloka, important shloka, the next topic that Poojya Swamiji is going to touch upon is choice in action implies norms. Choice in action implies norms. Common sense dharma is there for a human being because he or she has a choice in action. A human being has can exert his or her choice while doing an action. This choice implies a set of norms which must be known. If these norms, the dharma, were not there, these norms, dharma, were not there, the creation would be defective. The creation would be defective. You could not have been given a choice without being given the norms that go with the choice. You could not have been given a choice without being given the norms that go with the choice. It would be something like giving a Ferrari without brakes to someone who is drunk and who also does not know how to drive. He can go berserk. Having been given a choice, the norms should be common to all without any education being necessary. Having been given a choice, the norms should be common to all without any education being necessary. This is an important aspect of dharma. This is an important aspect of dharma. To be given a choice but no knowledge of the norms would also be a defect in the creation. If you did have to be educated about these norms, if you did have to be educated about these norms, then no one would have the same opportunity to receive this education. Karma Yoga involves a very deep understanding of our free will, our choice in action. It doesn't seem so clearly when looked at cursorily. It is only when we study Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha under the guidance of a competent Acharya do we understand the import and impact of Karma Yoga in our lives. To be given a choice but no knowledge of the norms would be also a defect in the creation. If you did have to be educated about these norms, then no one would have the same opportunity to receive this education. If so, then some people would be stealing or getting hurt because they never knew they should not steal or get hurt. They were never taught. Therefore, without any education, you know that you should not steal or get hurt. I also know that others do not want to be stolen from or be hurt. This then is the common norm. Just as I don't want to get hurt, I also understand that others also don't want to get hurt. What is equally common to you and me is the norm on the basis of which we can choose our actions. What you do not want from others, you find others also do not want from you. Therefore, there is a common norm, a dharma, and the person who is able to interpret his or her to be done actions in terms of dharma has kaushala. Beautiful. The person who is able to interpret his or her to be done actions in terms of dharma has kaushala. How sweetly presented by Poojya Swamiji. Let us now complete the story of the man who wants to continue his plans to steal his neighbor's money and take the result as prasada. He will only be fulfilling one part of the Karma Yoga definition. The other part will remain unfulfilled because there is no kaushala. He is not even interpreting, he is going against the very dharma. If someone wanted to rob him, how would he take it? How would he take it? He would not allow it, which means that he should not rob anyone else because it is a wrong action. If everyone were simply to say, so what, to all the norms, what we would have is only confusion. Even today, the society is not that confused that we are prevented from conducting our lives. People more or less do follow some norms. If everyone were to do exactly what they wanted, if everyone were to do exactly what they wanted, they would be hitting others, robbing them, and so on. All of which would be going against dharma. There would be no order, only confusion, and no one could live his or her life peacefully, comfortably. There is order in the world even today, which is why we are able to live peacefully. Some of us do not even have gates or fences because there is dharma. Since there are boundaries that people seem to follow, we cannot say there is no dharma. Of course, there is adharma too. And because choice is there, people are sometimes going to abuse their power of choice. Because choice is there, people are sometimes going to abuse their power of choice. The man who wants to rob his neighbor has to be told, along with Arjuna, that he must conform to dharma. He must conform to dharma even though his likes and dislikes prompt him to do otherwise. What happens to likes and dislikes then? What happens to them? They are curtailed at the level of action. They must be aligned with dharma and adharma. If they are lingering likes and dislikes which are not in conformity with dharma and adharma, there is no one in your heart to claim them. You do not follow them, you do not join them. They rise and they die a natural death. If there are lingering likes and dislikes which are not in conformity with dharma and adharma, there is no one in your heart to claim them. Beautiful state. You do not follow them, you do not join them. They rise and they die a natural death. There is no one to claim them because you have no connection with them, meaning the likes and dislikes. They simply rise as fancies and die as fancies. You go only by what is right and what is wrong. You go by only what is right and what is wrong. Friends, we must revisit, study these portions repeatedly to get a firm grasp over this wonderful stepping stone called Karma Yoga. In the following capsules, we will explore the summary of the definition of Karma Yoga. Hari Om.